What is the advice that you can give a caregiver about anger management? Because anger at some point it comes in, and it's different for an 80-pound woman versus a 185-pound man. And so how do you handle the anger management?
Well, Gail, you're right in some respects, but in other respects, a person that weighs 80 pounds still packs a punch. Mm-hmm. The same as a man or woman, 185
or can
pounds.
bite.
Yes. They have a tendency to swing their hands. They have a tendency to bite you. They have a tendency to hit you with a fork or anything that could be in their hand. And I think that what happens, I look at the anger when a client is with me, and if I see it, I immediately tell the caregiver. But what happens is most of the times it's not addressed, because all of you are used to living with your loved one, until all of a sudden you come to me one day and you say, I saw a whole different person than I've ever seen before. So the whole thing is trying to diffuse the anger. What made that person angry? What made them feel confined in their body that they can't get their feelings out?
Or they could be hurting.
Or there could be pain. Sleep disturbances are a big issue. When they don't sleep properly and they wander or they toss and they turn or they get up and do the dishes in the middle of the night, or they try to put wood in the stove, I think it's a time for the caregivers to refer to the doctors and tell them that these are changes that have occurred with their loved ones, and it's possible they need to be sedated so that they get the sleep at night, not knocked out, but sedated so they're safe. We had an incident with a man that got out of the house and he froze outside. Now, these things are not isolated. They might be here in New Hampshire, but they are not isolated around the world. Many people wander, and their loved ones or caregivers are so tired, they don't always hear them get up in the night, and the door's locked behind them, and how do they get back in? So it's important for safety locks, also out of the reach of the client, and also locked doors, secured doors.
That's very good advice. And you also have some other advice that you give the patients, and it's the form of hope.
I do. I would like to read it.
Yes, I would like to have you too.
This was given to me by somebody, and there are actually two different things. But one thing is the last rites. Be patient with me. Hold me, hug me. Treat me with dignity. Treat me with respect. Remember who I was in the past and who I'm becoming in the future. Accept the changes. Love me unconditionally. Consider my feelings. I am a person. Treat me with all the love that you can give me, and express to my family how much they mean to me. And please don't ignore me. That's a brief one. If I may take another moment.
You may.
I would like to read you a prayer. It is emotional, it is very sensitive, but I think if you listen to all the words in both of these last two things, that it will make you understand that there is a person in there.
It's just a changed person.
Somewhere. And it just takes a little thing, a comment, a loving touch, a hug to bring it out. It's called the Alzheimer's Prayer. Please grant my visitors tolerance for my confusion, forgiveness for my irrationalities, and the strength to walk with me into the mist of memory. My world has become different. Please let them take my hand and stay a while, even though I seem unaware of their presence. Help them to know that how their strength and loving care has followed me. Will drift slowly into the days to come, but I will not forget that loving touch, just when I need it most. Let them know when I don't recognize them, please wait, just wait. It will come. Keep their hearts free from sorrow for me, for my sorrow, when it comes, it only lasts a moment. Yours lasts a lifetime. And finally, please let them know how much their visits mean to me. How even though with relentless mystery, I can still feel their love.
That's beautiful.
And it is so true.
And they are so lucky to have you. And you have information,
I
and
do.
each state has information
I do.
that can be handed out to the person to read.
Yes. For the caregivers, there's a long grieving. There's a book that is also put out by doctors that can easily be obtained in every state. Understanding Memory Loss is a great book to read. The different avenues that you go down in the dementia, there are many things that contribute.
And each one is a different case.
Yes, Parkinson's, there's so many different other diseases that interact. End of life, knowing what's going to happen when your loved one is at the end of their life. And So Far Away is a very tender book that talks about how they feel, and it's about an individual. So I think whatever you pick up, just go to the library or go to your local elder care center, or go on the internet and find out different books. And I think you're going to be surprised that you're not alone out there.
And Cheryl, I wish that every single Alzheimer's patient, dementia patient, and caregiver could find someone as you are in their home state, because Glenn used to be so happy to go to Respite. It gave him a feeling of self-worth. Mm-hmm. It was positive, and
it works both ways, Gail.
it was just great.
I felt the same. I treated them like my mother, my aunt, my grandmother, my grandfather, and you have to be able to love what you do,
Right.
to be able to constantly be positive.
And there are 5 million right now in the United States with Alzheimer's.
And growing.
And one every 69
Yes.
seconds. And I hope they find a Cheryl.
Thank you.